So we're where we left off last time. The only difference is that there is quite a bit of stuff to do. So in the meantime, I ground out some resources so I can like upgrade things. Can't upgrade those things. I can upgrade this. Let's definitely upgrade the arrows as fast as possible. I think that's the number one limiting factors in this game is how many of these predator arrows you can get. And I ground out a lot. I can keep upgrading. Okay, now I actually need some real stuff. That blue stone on the right. What is that called? Carbon crystal, I think. I think I can buy it from Retta. And then it's steel there in the middle that's limiting things. I got plenty of copper. Basically, I've got everything that I can get while being in Siwa. When I wasn't like doing this recorded stream for posterity, I was just going around getting some stuff that I can use to upgrade. And again, the main point of that is just so that if you're watching this, you're not spending a lot of time watching me grind out resources. You're spending time, you know, talking about the sites and all that good stuff. But then I do the actual upgrading on this stream so that all of that is recorded too, just in case anybody's like watching the entire time and wonders how did he go from having like the most basic equipment to having all this super upgraded stuff. Well, the upgrading actually happens in the stream. Oh, so I have a question that's kind of unrelated to Assassin's Creed, but definitely I'll talk about. So, me and my goddess wife are moving to Germany. That is totally true. I think we're moving in, well, it depends on, I guess you can't actually see her in the video, but there's a grumpy little cat sitting over here. And she just had to go to the vet and get a bunch of stuff, including a international health certificate. It cost $800, so I have to send a letter to the insurance company, her pet insurance company, next week. Like, insist that they give me some of that money, because she's insured. So that was... Okay, that's rude. Yeah, moving pets is a pain. Can you make her an ESA? So maybe I can. I have talked to a physician about doing that. It works out to be roughly as difficult. Like the advantages just don't really make it worth it because it's super expensive to get them to get her identified as a service animal. Or an emotional support cat, and normally the cost of taking her anywhere or living somewhere with her is like an $100 deposit, whereas actually getting her certified is like $500. So the math just never works out. So you did it for your dog, not super easy. Yeah. Germany's rules on cats are actually. You know, the stereotype of Germany is that they're like very bureaucratic, but the rules really aren't that bad. It was mainly paying for all the stuff that we need to do here, which is totally legitimate, and I'm happy to pay for it because it's things like updated rabies vaccines and microchip and all the documentation that goes with that, and you know, making sure that we're not bringing rabies to a country that has more or less successfully eradicated it is something that I can certainly get behind. One of the reasons I'm so excited to move to a place like Germany is because of the whole, like, we're all in this together and, you know, we make sure that our actions don't negatively affect one another. So I'm all about doing that stuff. Her health insurance should still pay for it because I've been paying them X amount of money every month for years now. But yeah, so that's going good. On the subject of Assassin's Creed, just because we're now doing this, so the next quest to do in Siwa
Behold what becomes of those who disobey Medunamun. Priest to the Pharaoh.
The next quest is to go talk to Hepzibah and actually go to Alexandria and start doing things there. So that's what we're doing now. I actually put that off until the start of today's stream so we could kind of get after it. So here we go. Yeah, finally. Hidden Blade time.
Are you ready? It is a long journey.
I don't know. Am I ready? How many more of these are you doing? When/how should Sasa post about this? Sasa should definitely post about this like all the time. Anybody should come watch this. So I assumed that yes in all caps was like, let's go to Alex.
There are others to whom I must deliver justice, especially the one known as the Snake.
How will you find these men?
Aya has been tracking them in Alexandria. I must find her.
She said she would be visiting her cousin at the Great Library.
Great Library?
And she said if you are coming to tell you one word. Serapis.
Serapis?
Serapis.
The god that Greeks and Egyptians share. Of course.
Of course.
And Bike, do something about that beard.
No, beard looks awesome.
Goodbye, my friend.
Yeah, Lauren, you can share my my Twitch handle, and then it's if people like follow and click the little bell button, it will notify you when I start my streams. It notifies you of both.
Layla, you need a refill on cyclosporin.
Shit, it's
Layla,
the.
wakey.
I need cyclosporin, which sounds like an antibiotic. Like, why am I taking this?
Layla?
Okay.
Come on back.
Even in the
Layla,
game world,
are you
I've
with
spent
me?
way too long in Siwa.
Habibti.
Told you not to call me that.
Thing is, the fastest way to get your attention is to
4:30 p.m. Eastern time.
Paying attention.
Yeah, it's always going to be 4:30 Eastern time. So whether it's standard or daylight time, I'm just going to keep it on New York time because that's how it started.
Before they shut down.
Yes, Nurse Geary.
That's medical officer.
And this is a full playthrough of the whole game. So yeah, this is going to be going for a while.
Odds are holding. Subject's memories are perfectly clear. If this doesn't convince Abstergo to give me a place on the Animus Project, nothing will.
Yeah.
Amazing. Who do you have in there?
His name is Bayek of Siwa. The death of his son turned him into a killer.
Think you'd be of interest to Abstergo?
Don't start.
You know, they're not going to be happy
Yep,
with how you
always on
handled the fire.
Saturdays.
I know I don't work by
Always
the book.
4:30 Eastern time.
Well, this time you lit the book on fire and then stomped on it. Anyway, none of this will matter if you're comatose. Now go get that cyclosporin.
And I'm also putting them all on YouTube afterwards. So, like, part of the thing... Okay, I have to get the cyclosporin. Part of the thing is to create, like, a permanent record
Got the
of
cyclosporin.
playing through the game.
Do it. Don't forget the alcohol wipe.
I love the idea that this, like, brilliant scientist would forget to,
I wish I was
like,
there to help.
use a disinfectant
You do a
wipe
good job
before
looking after
injecting
me,
herself with a
even from the
medication.
hotel. And I know how you like your aircon.
Search. Do you mean what you search for on YouTube? It's on my YouTube channel, which is
Going back in. This is so badass.
Be careful.
yeah, this is so badass. Hang on, I'm actually just gonna look at what my YouTube channel is. Try not to fall over in the process. I should really know that. I think it's just my name. It just says Christian Casey. How do I actually... I'm in YouTube Studio because I was just uploading things. How do I actually get to... Retrying... Your channel. Lauren, I'm gonna send you a link to my YouTube channel. I don't know how else to do it. It's, I mean, you just would search for Christian Casey, but there we go. It's got my like super dorky photo on there where I'm wearing like a jacket and tie and stuff. Mine is the first one to pop up. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so I'm on a camel. Why am I on a camel? I have a horse.
I must protect this great land. Alexandria is where the snake thrives, and Aya lives. I must find them both.
Okay. My quarters all twisted. Unlocked Thebes. Yeah, we're definitely going to hold off on that. Letter from Tahira. Okay, so this is all the Sinai stuff. A lot of stuff is going to start popping up pretty quick. Hidden ones. Wow. Okay. So my quest list just got super long. But obviously I'm not going to do any of these things just yet. By Promise is the one where I find all the stone circles, so that's kind of just, that carries through the whole game. This is the one that I actually need to do. I'm like 4.3 XP away from a
Home to my
new
old
level
friend
too.
Menehet. He will be in the temple. He always
Okay,
is.
if I call my horse, will my horse come? No. I have to just ride a camel. Whoa. Amazing. You have to dismount and then call your horse. I'm not even gonna do. There we go. Level up. Excuse me. Excuse.
Whoa.
Alright. Let's go get an ability. Okay, what do we want here? So I really want to get all the way to auto loot. Auto loot is where it's at because that saves so much time on getting resources. Looks like the fastest way to get there is to go here, here, over here, here, and here. So like that. So I guess I need this. See if there's anything else that gives you XP kind of passively. See, that seems kind of nice too. But I'm not going to use any of those things just yet, so it's not much to my benefit. I think I'm going to go this way. I think I'm going to start on the path towards auto loot, because I really want auto loot. Oh, and charge heavy attack, obviously. We got to get some of that, because that's a good one. Okay, and then in the meantime, let's go back to the map. I need to get all the way to Alexandria and Aya and the Hidden Blade and all of that good stuff. But we're here in Yamu. There's good stuff in Yamu. Rude soldiers, as always. There's a blacksmith. I'm gonna go here because I probably have stuff to sell. I definitely have stuff to sell. Look at that. I had 2,000 drachmae worth of stuff to sell. What am I actually using? The Pelum. Oh man, and it's like so cheap to upgrade, so we're definitely going to do that. It has better stats. I didn't actually look at what they were, but you get it. They're better. Predator bow. Yeah, let's upgrade that too. Yeah, this is the Sekhmet armor. So, there's some cool stuff in here. Okay. There's some cool stuff to do in Yamu. There is a fast travel point on this island. I think there's some kind of quest on that island. There's a quest here, Hidden Tax. We should probably do. Oh, there's a fast travel point right here that I need to unlock. And I need to do the thing where I play hide and seek with the kids, and then... Oh, sorry. And then I
Has anyone seen my...
There's like a festival where there's like a boxing match, and that's how I get the Sekhmet armor, so I definitely need to do that too. Because the Sekhmet armor is the best. So here's Sekhmet. I'm gonna climb on her. Sekhmet, her name means the violent lady, or the forceful lady, or, you know, however you want to translate it. She's a lion. She is a form, or alternate form of Hathor, who is the goddess of all kinds of good stuff. She's the goddess of partying and drunkenness and beauty and nurturing motherhood and all of these you know, all these great feminine qualities. She kind of unites all of them. And her angry form that tried to destroy the world is Sekhmet. So I forgot to mention that I changed the setup, so I put the comments on the screen so they're not being read to me by the robot voice anymore. Possession Gere means midnight. Okay, that's not the right quest. I need to find the quest that's in here. There we go. Okay, it's right here. I also need to find this papyrus puzzle, which I'm going to go find right now. It's up here somewhere. I already have a rough idea of where it is from finding it before. Up. Up. There we go. It's here somewhere. Not in there. Enexoneb. I am son of Lord, I guess is what he says. A few hundred meters northwest of the Temple of Sekhmet in Yamu, which resides by Lake... I've never known how to say this word. Mariotis. There is a great place to go for a date. Full of palm trees, I'm guessing date palm trees, and surrounded by desert. One rock fence was built and closed off with no exit. Find me there. Should I do that? Should I solve the papyrus puzzle? It's going to be... Wait, what did it just say? Northeast. I already kind of know where it is. A few hundred meters northwest of the Temple of Sekhmet in Yamu. A few hundred meters. Oops. Northwest. So it would have to be roughly here. Wait, is that right? There's a place that was fenced off. I thought it was down here somewhere. But that's not northwest. So now I'm confused. Let's do the hide and seek with the kids in the temple, and then we'll go find that later. Great place to go for a date, full of palm trees. It's definitely going to be a date palm grove. And pretty much all of the palm trees in this game are date palms. So, okay, it could be in any of those palm groves as far as I remember. Nebma'at Re Mer Amun Re. I'm guessing that's Amenhotep III's name there? Not totally sure on that. I'd have to go look. I'm really bad at the praenomina. I think that's probably who that is. Let's go talk to this priest. This is a Sim priest, you can tell, because he wears a leopard skin. And we actually have one. We have a real priest's leopard skin from later. I think it's from the Ptolemaic period. I don't remember exactly. I just saw it in the Met. Not even that long ago, like a year or so ago. And it's not really a leopard skin. It's like a leather garment that's been dyed to look like a leopard skin, because there weren't actually leopards readily available in Egypt by that time anymore, but it's the typical garment of this type of priest.
What good fortune! I thought it would be years before we saw you again.
Hail in peace, Menehet. How is your family?
The children seem to grow larger by the minute. My wife and I have our hands full. And you? Is there any news of...
None.
I forget myself. There are so many things in your life best not spoken of. Forgive me.
I see by your garb that you have been promoted.
Ah, yes. The High Priest, in his grace, made me his second. And my rank is not the only thing he has changed. You must see the temple.
You will give me a tour?
Of course, of course. At the moment of your pleasure.
All right, let's tour the temple.
Ready to see our beautiful temple?
After you, Menehet. Or is it servant of the goddess?
Menehet will do, for one as good as family.
This is far from the sorry ruin of my last visit.
Yamu now plays constant host to ceremonies showing our rustic way of life, which attract many visitors with more gold than sense.
A description well suited to Alexandrians. How does this sit with your faith?
I confess that my thoughts are sometimes uneasy.
It's a beautiful temple. Oh, there's the interior pool you were asking about, Lexi. Although this is a courtyard. This is cool. I'm not sure what this is based on. So he's putting some kind of like flower offering in a bowl into the pool. It's great. I don't know if it's based on anything.
By a gang of ruffians, huh? Silent as gifts.
Uncle Bayek! Uncle
Gifts.
Bayek! Hello, Uncle.
Jewels of my life, why have you left your mother's side?
Pick me up, Uncle Bayek!
Sit down. There's no need to attack a man.
Post anywhere before you go live each week. That would be easy for Sasa to share.
You told us to
Not really, actually. It's just in my Twitch schedule, but I can. I probably should post on Facebook and stuff. I'm gonna try to start doing that.
Hide well, for the wanderer stalks your path.
I think most of the people who watch these streams actually do so on YouTube, because after the stream each Saturday, I download the video from Twitch and put it on YouTube, and quite a few people watch it there, and I think they see it largely through subscriptions. I know one of them's down in here somewhere. Or from like recommended videos. So it's like these streams get recommended on other like video game related things. Twitch and YouTube link. Cool. Yeah. I'll try to make a habit of posting some kind of social media stuff. I always put something on the Discord for the Coptic class. But yeah, I haven't been doing a lot of promotion. Alright. Let's just take a moment to appreciate how lovely this little ancient Egyptian city is. And how totally believable. So we have a place here where we have a town that is almost totally dominated by its prominent temple. And then just about everyone who lives in this town is somehow economically dependent on the temple and various things that go along with that. Such places really existed. The one that comes to mind is Tebtunis, where we found the Tebtunis library, where like just about everything in that town was connected in some way to the temple. This is quite realistic. This wobbly mud brick crenellated wall. So temples were also used as like secure buildings, especially in times of social strife or in places that were kind of on the frontier where there were brigands and things of that sort. So they were used to protect the people of the town in the way that like a castle would be used in the Middle Ages. So, you know, most of the houses are just out here near the fields. They're not very well protected from attack, but in some kind of crisis, everyone would go into the temple and then shut the gates and be pretty safe in there because it can be turned into a fortress really easily. It's also just a wonderful depiction of an Egyptian temple. Okay, let's go find these kiddos. Alright, I've got comments. Oh, Lexi shit. Thank you, Lexi. Still no ancient humidifier. Yeah, I don't think that's what this is. I think they're giving it a sort of a ritual purpose. I think it's largely air conditioning. Oh god. Something. There's like a monster in here. What are you doing?
Solis, stay back!
Got him. Well, why did you just open the cage with the hyena? Where did he go? I think he ran up. Alright, yeah, definitely share this stream. The more people who watch and ask questions, the better, because it's not always easy to pay attention to
Asina,
what to talk
you
about.
must come down from here.
This would be a good place to watch the stars.
Yeah, it would.
Only the priests are permitted here. You know that.
Yes, but I want to see...
Hush. Come down now. We can watch stars from the riverbank.
So I have to bring her down the stairs. This is nice and feels pretty realistic to me. A lot of Egyptian houses, especially nicer Egyptian houses, will have like sort of tiers, like an upper room with the rooftop of the next story below it, where it makes sort of a rooftop plaza. You still see that today. In fact, the school I worked for in Alexandria was called Amethyst, and they had that. There was sort of a bedroom, which was just like an office, the way we used it. But it was on top, and then the rest of the roof of the house was like a big balcony. It was really neat. Looked just like that. Would they actually have little patios? I think so, yes. And there are even some that you can get to. So like Dendera Temple, there's a staircase almost just like the one we just went down. Oh, there goes one of the kiddos. I'll go get him. Got him.
You found me. Your turn to hide.
Come
His
away
hair.
from there, Nyla. You're getting in the priest's way.
Her hair, I suppose. That little, it's called a side lock. Just like one tuft of hair on the side was actually common in Egyptian children. Let's go find the other kid. I think the other kid is...
Nyla, are you following me?
You might get lost without me. It's
Oh,
a
so here's the
system.
inner sanctum, and there is actually the cult statue of Sekhmet. I really shouldn't be able to just walk in here like this, but this is what temples would have had. So on the central axis, directly from the front, this is kind of the inner sanctum, and that's the naos, and there's a
to stay with you.
gold statue of the goddess inside, which would only be taken out for processions. Are most of the hairstyles in the game pretty accurate? Yeah, I think except for Bayek. Like, Bayek has this, like...
Are you going to sleep at our house again?
Bayek has some
not this
badass hair.
But I hope to pass by and visit your mother.
Well, these other ones look like actual wigs we found. And, of course, like the depictions we see on tomb walls and things. So, like, this man's hair looks totally realistic to me. It looks just like depictions that you see of people in life. The priest, Menehet, I think,
Keba,
had a totally shaved head, which is also realistic.
I wanted to hide, but now I can't get back out. I'm scared.
stay calm.
We'll have to find a way out
I
of
will
here.
help you out. This way. Through the tunnel.
Thank you, Uncle Fire.
That's the last of the children. I will tell Menehet that the children are safe.
Although that one I just kind of left out here in the lake. I'm guessing he can get home on his own. Man, this setting is so amazing. And there were no crocodiles down there? I mean, if you're lucky. So these days, there aren't really crocodiles in the Nile because of the dams. So there's a series of dams built at Aswan. The most recent one is the famous Aswan High Dam. And it controls the flood, and it also disrupted the ecosystem to such an extent that there aren't really crocodiles here. Like, in this actual place in real life today, there aren't crocodiles to be found. At this time, there would have been. But I think it's like any other place where people live. Like, crocodiles are apex predators. The ecosystem can only support so many of them. You're not likely to just walk to the river and encounter a crocodile immediately. Okay, I'm just going to interrupt.
Priest, you have proven as false as your mummies.
This is an interesting dynamic. This merchant is demanding that the priest...
Your brood is delivered safely home.
Thank you, friend.
What did that fool want with you?
Some visitors, having purchased religious objects, are angry when our village has no more dead cats to sell them. Though not a merchant, I am often the means by which the aggrieved snuff their anger.
I think this is probably fairly realistic. Temples were absolutely central to the economy of ancient Egypt. And it's pretty much impossible that they would not have had a role in what was going on in the market and what was going on in the town. Why did only priests get the cool leopard skin cloaks? Like, I'd have wanted one really badly. Yeah, you'd have to become a priest, I guess. You know, it's one of the perks of office, is that cool leopard skin cloak. What am I supposed to be doing right now? I totally forgot. I just talked to him. I'm gonna look at my quest. I totally forgot what I'm doing. Ulterior votive. This sounds like my quest. Meet the merchants. So there's something shady going on. Gears telling me that I have something new here. I don't see anything. It was probably just that upgrade. I didn't actually go and acknowledge it. What else do I need here? I need more copper. Copper, steel. That carbon crystal stuff. Hard leather, which I am definitely going to get plenty of in a little bit. And yeah, let's go manage the affairs in the market. Figure out what's going on. It's an interesting path I've chosen. Guess I could just swim. Alright, so we're going into the market. There's something shady going on in here.
Looks like a child made it.
These cat mummies are false!
Let's chat with this guy. No, you have a little thing.
Greetings. I am...
You have come to the right place, Neb. We have everything you could possibly want.
What I want is to ask about false idols sold at the market.
I have heard
William over
rumors
there.
of such, but there is nothing to them. Now leave if you want to avoid trouble.
Sounds like a threat. He seems untrustworthy.
You filthy naked Yadet. How dare you try to trick me into paying for this junk?
These cat mummies are false!
There's another guy we can talk to.
Tell me of the fake mummies being sold here.
I have no desire to be dragged into this.
Menehet sent me. Your silence is an insult to his holy office.
I wish to anger neither him nor the gods. We are forced to sell items of lesser quality, or see our stalls destroyed.
Oh man, we got a conspiracy going on.
Let us meet tonight, where the village turns to farmland.
Where the village turns to farmland. That's like 1,000 different places. So many different places. Okay, well I'm gonna have to wait till it's night anyway, so why don't we go ahead and try to solve this papyrus puzzle. Oh, you know what? I know what it is. I bet it's this. I bet it's here. Didn't it say a few hundred meters? So if I put something here, how far is that? That's 750 meters. That seems pretty far. There's a few hundred meters northwest. Okay. A few hundred meters northwest of the temple of Sekhmet and Yamu, which resides by Lake Mariotis. There is a great place to go for a date. Surrounded by desert. One rock fence was built and closed off with no exit. I mean, where else could it be? It's got to be around here somewhere. There are also other quests I could do, but I really do kind of want to find this papyrus puzzle. How do you pronounce Thoth? I say Thoth. I think most Egyptologists say Thoth. His actual Egyptian name is Towet. So, yeah. You can see how it would be transcribed as Thoth, but not really the same. Okay. A few hundred meters northwest.
Whoa.
Okay, there's the temple. If we go a few hundred meters northwest of the temple, we find this little reedy area.
Whoa.
Needs to be on the edge of the desert. Needs to be date palms. Needs to be a little fenced-in area. Or a stone wall, I suppose.
Whoa.
Does anyone happen to know the answer to this puzzle? And can just tell me? It really shouldn't be this hard. Oh, man. It would have to be a little walled area. Never do the puzzles. Disappointed. There's some copper that I could go get. That's a good idea. Oh, I always do the puzzles, but I'm so terrible at them. It takes me forever to figure them out. I'm gonna go... Definitely gonna go fight the owner of this copper that I need.
Out of the way!
This is why we need auto loot. Why would you get off your horse to fight me? Okay. Really kicked the hornet's nest with this one. Whoa! Didn't block fast enough. Still got him though. Okay. A few hundred meters northwest of the temple is a great place for a date. Which is clearly not this place. This would be a terrible place for a date. Cha-cha-cha. Got him. I put a marker right on the temple. How far away is it? 416 meters. It's got to be like literally right here. What's that? That's a horse. I love how somebody is absolutely watching this who knows exactly where the thing is and is just like so frustrated. Like, dude, you've walked past it like 10 times. Let's get some leather while we're here.
Whoa.
Those are date palms, very obviously. Oh man, crocodile.
Whoa.
Sweet. You can tell that they're date palms. I don't know if everyone's looking like behind Bayek here. But you can tell that those are date palms because you can actually see the clusters of dates hanging from them. So I can't really... Well, I can point with my arrows. Right there. Those are dates. Those are big clusters of pretty much ripe dates ready to come down. So yeah, all of these are date palms. Those are willows, obviously. I'm going to kill this crocodile because I actually need his nice leather that he's clad in. Which he was using, so I had to murder him. Not thrilled about that, but such is life, I guess. This is a date palm grove. This is, I mean, like, these were deliberately planted. They're in rows. This is very much a date palm grove. Do you have leather? No. Okay, I just killed that creature for no reason. I'm gonna go more down this way, because I'm yet to find any stone walls. Speaking of sacred animals, what's your cat's name? My cat Bella is watching. Told me to ask. My cat's name is Fenchurch. Fenchurch. It's a character from the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy series. So, yeah. Pretty nerdy name. She doesn't know what it means, and she doesn't care. But I think it's a pretty cool name. These are all palm orchards. There are no walls. And now I'm definitely veering into southwest territory. Wait, is there another temple? What if there's another temple somewhere? And it's northwest of that other temple. She can be seen in past Salsa live events, I bet. They have a way, don't they? This one, she's sleeping comfortably over here on the daybed, but if I were to shut the door to this room, oh my gosh. You'd never hear the end of it. Look at this. Oh man, we've got a walled enclosure, new date palms. There's another temple of Yamu. No, that's the temple of Sekhmet and Yamu. Boy, I'm not good at this. I mean, this is a new palm orchard. All these date palms have been planted in little rows. There's got to be a walled off area with no gate. So it's going to be like a walled off enclosure that I have to vault into. Climb into or something. This is flax. Would you find cactuses in ancient Egypt? I have no idea. I've wondered about that forever. So, no. Short answer is no. Although you do find cactuses in the deserts of Egypt today, and I think they're a transplant, but I've never been able to get a really solid answer on that. We'd need somebody who knows about such things. Oh, anyway, this is flax. This is what it really looks like when it grows. The name of this blue flower in Egyptian is Awanempe, which means color of sky, because of their nice sky blue color. And this flax is actually overripe. To make the best linen, you would want to harvest the flax before it flowers. And the way you do it, because I have now done it, because I actually, in our garden, grew flax and harvested it and everything, because I was curious, you actually extirpate the entire plant. So you just like grab the plant, pull it out, roots and all, wash the dirt off, and then you have to do this process called retting, where you just like put the whole flax plants in like a bucket of water with all the dirt and roots and everything in there, and that that soupy mixture actually contains all of the proper bacteria that are needed to break down the outer shells of the plant, so that you can then do the next process, which I forget the name of, but just basically you just like take the flax plants, out of this this redding, soupy, watery mixture, which is, of all the smells I've ever smelt in my whole life, the smell of redding flax is far and away the worst. I don't even know how to describe it. It's just horrifying, because it's just this, like, planty, bacterial stew. It smells... Oh, look, a bug. Neat. A little floating basket of dates. I love it. That's just an object that somebody copy-pasted in there and forgot to move. So there's this soupy, watery mixture of flax. Don't even start with the mangoes. I know you're doing that on purpose. Everyone knows I'm dying to talk about the mangoes. But I'm going to try to stay on the subject of flax. So you extirpate the flax, you put it in its redding mixture. I don't actually know what plant this is. And then it does its process, and then you take it out, let it dry, and then you just basically smack it with something. And you break off the outer husk, and what's left behind looks and feels and everything exactly like blonde hair from a human. It's absolutely remarkable. It's very slightly magical when you do it in real life, because it's kind of just this ordinary weedy plant. I'm sorry that you have to die. You are carrying lumber. It's just this weedy plant with pretty little blue flowers on it, but inside it contains hair. It's just, it's unbelievable. It's so cool. Highly recommend everybody grow some flax. So the whole point of what I'm doing right now is I'm just running around looking for the solution to this papyrus puzzle. I don't know at what point you give up and Google it. I definitely would have already passed that point if I weren't streaming this. I would have already just Googled it. Because holy crap, I have looked for a really long time. Maybe it's in here? That looks like it's kind of walled off. But it's not in a palm grove. No. This is just like irrigation tank. This is wheat, as you probably guessed. It's the thing that made Egypt so rich. We're back to our flax for making linen. Another one of Egypt's principal commodities. Over here we have... What do we have here? We have opium poppies. Yeah, which were also grown in Egypt for the purposes of opium production. And these are ripe. You can tell they're ripe when they turn purple like that. Don't ask me how I know. And then, over here, I have no idea what this thing is. Is wheat supposed to be green or the golden color we think of? Well, when it first grows, it looks just like grass, and then when it gets tall enough, it produces the seeds at the top, those ears of wheat, and they're green at first, and then the entire plant turns a sort of golden brown color when it's ripe. So this wheat, I'm going back to it so we can talk about it. This is the overgrown flax that we saw before. Back to the wheat. It grows in these sort of bunches. As they did a really good job with the plants in this game. This is what real wheat looks like, and I know because I grew up in a house that had a wheat field behind it, that I used to run around and play in. I would go around with my bow and arrow and shoot at things in a wheat field. And this is exactly what it looks and feels like to walk through a wheat field. So that's pretty nice. But it's not ready yet. Give it a few weeks, it will be golden brown. Okay, here are some more date orchards. Oh, there's some wood over there. I'm definitely going to go get that wood. I like how I said I'm not going to grind in the actual playthrough, and I've spent half of my time grinding. I just love grinding. This looks so much like it would be the right place. It's got a little stone wall. How far are you into the game? So I am many hours into the game. So let's see. I've done like about 4.5 hours of streaming. I'm level 9, I think. But I'm actually way over leveled. Because I always grind everything out. And we're just at the part, if you look at the map, so I'm going to zoom out on the map. We've unlocked this much. So this is where you start. You start in Siwa, and you kind of only are allowed to venture into this area around Siwa. And then you kind of teleport to this place where you go to Yamu, and then the natural progression of the main quest is going to lead us to Alexandria, where we find Aya, Bayek's wife, and we get the Hidden Blade, and all that good stuff happens. But this is kind of the prelude to that. And there are a bunch of side quests. There's this really cool boxing match where I get the Skemet armor in here somewhere. There are all these question mark activities, which are probably brigands and various things. There are fast travel points, which I'm totally going to do. I think I should just do whatever I want and not feel the need to explain my actions quite so much, because, like, I'm having fun.
My friend, I am glad to see you have kept our appointment. Come, sit with me and share a drink of wine.
Sure.
I do not have time for that.
Oh.
It is a beautiful night. Let us enjoy the
Oh, this is a
coolness of the
trap.
air for a moment before turning to business.
Yeah, it's a trap.
Merchant, who is behind the traffic of false icons?
Well, you see, it is no simple story. There are many involved in this terrible affair, but they would all tell you the same thing. Pity the trusting man, for he suffers great pain.
I don't trust you one bit. This is obviously a trap. You're stalling.
Seek evil, and you will
Yep.
always find it. The path to knowledge is perilous.
I was just watching your Egyptologist review of this game, and then I found you. This is my favorite Assassin's Creed game. Ironically, and then it just stops at fee. But I assume there's more coming. That's awesome. I love that you found this. I was hoping more people would find it and come join in and ask questions.
To be trusting.
Talk, or you will meet the same fate as your friends.
That will not be necessary. Among the dunes, southeast of here, is the bandit camp where the fake mummies are made. I suppose you would go and destroy it now.
Better I smash the camp than your head.
I feel like this man should probably suffer some consequences for his actions, but okay. Wait, you said southeast of here.
Will earn the favor of the gods. Ra lives. What a disgrace.
Oh, there's a cat friend. Wouldn't that dude's hut be burned down by now with that brazier blowing into it? Yeah, no one's doing this in real life. That would totally catch fire. While we're on the subject, I hope everyone is enjoying the lovely, I can't even really see them. I put candles around to create a nice ambiance for the streaming, but you can't even see the candles. I assure you that they're here. It smells amazing in here. It smells like patchouli and sandalwood. Okay, oops, wrong thing. You can see the glow. Good. Yeah. It's a very warm sort of lighting scenario that we have. Baquette, you're one of the best merchants we deal with. Continue the good work. We're going to send you a big stock of mummies. We need them to be sold by the end of the month. Pretty straightforward. Baquette is literate, so he could presumably get some pretty good jobs. Oh, there's another cat. Like a seance for one. Actually, for two. There's a cat over here. This is a Mal. I don't know if we can actually see it. Yeah, that's definitely a Mal. Not the one that I just accidentally walked into, but the one here. Can I do photo mode? No, I have photo mode turned off. This cat here that's just walking past is specifically an Egyptian breed of cat. It's the only breed of cat whose spots are actually both on its skin and in its fur. So if you were, hypothetically, if you were to shave that cat, it would have the same pattern of spots on its skin, which I think is pretty interesting. You can... Wait, you can crouch next to them? And Bayek will pet them? No. Psst, psst. Psst, psst. Were Mals or Abyssinians the most popular Egyptian cat? Kind of have to be right on top of... Okay. Trying again. I don't know that Mals actually existed in ancient Egypt. That's the funny thing. So some of the tomb depictions show cats that sort of look like Mals, but they actually look much more like what we would call like domestic short hairs. Like they are more just your standard cat in what's depicted. I think Mals might be a more recent breed. Although I don't know. I do know that the name Mao is very clearly the ancient Egyptian word for cat, right? It's emu in Coptic is the word for the one we have for female cat. Am I petting her? I don't know. It feels like I'm just standing on the cat. Is that petting? Oh. Oh my goodness. Yes. Amazing. I can't believe I didn't know about that until just now. Okay, good stuff. We've petted the cat. While we're on the way, I'm going to continue my quest for this papyrus puzzle. I know it's here somewhere. There's a little walled enclosure, and inside of it there is some kind of trinket that I want to find. It's a treasure that's probably of almost no value to me. But I'm just really intent on those papyrus puzzles for some reason. Okay, these are all date palm groves. As we have learned through talking about this, you are now all experts at identifying a date palm grove. And there must be some little enclosure. Oh my gosh, I'm never gonna solve this puzzle. Still wish you could pet them like Eivor pets animals in Valhalla. Yeah, you know, I feel like there are a lot of things in Odyssey and Valhalla that are really solid improvements that I really like. And then there are other changes that I don't like as much. And I would love to be able to kind of like take the best of all of it. And just combine it all together. And yeah. But set in ancient Egypt, of course. Okay. So there's a guy who has wood, so no pun intended. I definitely have to go kill him. I'm just gonna run in here and fight all these dudes.
You must die! Die, you!
Oops. Okay. Missed. Am I? There we go. Oh man, AC game set during the second intermediate period. Hell yeah, that would be amazing. I would actually vote. What would I vote for? If I had my druthers. Yeah, second intermediate period would be really cool. You could do like the Thebaid rulers, like Kamoza and Ahmoza and all these people, like trying to reconquer the Delta from the Hyksos. So much cool stuff. Someone says sorry for the backseat gaming. I didn't feel that way, so no apology necessary. And by all means, backseat game. Like, I handled that in literally the worst way I possibly could have. I mean, I was like, I'm here streaming, like, I'm going to tell you all my expertise on, like, Assassin's Creed Origins, and then I deal with the problem by just, like, charging blindly in there, and just, like, battling everyone, which is, like, the least amount of finesse you could possibly bring to bear on that. Nice. I love it. I love the headshots in this game where it's just, like, that was, like, very clearly a miss, and it still just, like, jumped and got him in the head. So good. Let's go tag some people. Let's tag. Oh yeah. There's a bunch of people in here. I'm gonna get to some concealment real quick. Okay. That seems pretty legit. Alright. So now we're gonna do it right. Not the way where you just charge in there, guns blazing, and fight everyone. I kind of just wanted the wood, though. Okay, so we've got 2 sleeping. 1, 2 on guard. 3 at the other gates, and 1 I've already taken out. Do one more quick check, but I count 5. Alright, so here we go. I think if I take this guy out, if I snipe him, I can probably do it without being detected, but no, that's not even good enough. We're gonna do this for real. Okay, can I slip past here without him seeing me? Probably not. Try to go around. The guy on top of the dune isn't paying any attention. This guy's coming around the corner. I'm gonna try to get into this stuff before he sees me. Got it. Alright, and we're gonna go around like this. And we're gonna take out both of these sleeping guys.
And now.
And he just alerted this guy, who was not alerted somehow. So that worked out.
Wait a minute.
There we go. Got spotted, but that was not bad. I'll take credit for that. I mean, it was nowhere near this, like, expert level ghosting, but still. Not too bad. Let's go ahead and, you know, send these guys to the great beyond. And what else am I supposed to... Oh, I forgot one. No one in the chat alerted me that I left an enemy standing up there on the hill. You guys are trying to get me killed. Okay, let's steal a horse, and... Looks like there's one more thing to destroy. Oh, and there's a treasure. Well, I gotta get that, obviously. I didn't loot anything. I didn't even look. Wrong one. This one. There we go. Okay, let's go loot some stuff.
Menehet will rest easy, now that this is done.
Wait. Technically, the origins of the Order of the Ancients began with Pharaoh Smenkhare in the AC lore. Okay, so that actually does leave them room to set things earlier. Never even knew what hit him. Alright. Are we good here? I think so. There's some other stuffs that I need to do. You totally know I'm still looking for that papyrus puzzle. I know it's here somewhere. A few hundred meters northwest. It's like that way. Northwest. It would have to be over there. Okay. Well, There's some cool semi-submerged colossal statues. I've heard theories Sankara is actually Nefertiti who persona. Yes, theory is being a bit generous. Hypothesis is the correct term, because we really don't know. There's tons of debate about things like that. I don't know if we'll ever really know. But we could find new evidence. All of the archaeology is not yet done on those things, and that's a place where Egyptian archaeologists are really leading the way in finding new evidence that might tell us some things. I think these guys are going to be way above my level. Oh yeah, I'm going to get fucked up. Yep, I am. Run away. Run away. Oh, look at that. Level up. Isn't that Nicholas Reeves' theory? I don't know. You probably know way better than I do. Okay, this was the camp I just got. Probably don't want to go to Hensu, because I'll probably get killed. Let's do a couple of these kind of things. Definitely want to get that fast travel point since I happen to be here. I think I've gone into another area. Yeah, Sapi Res. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, Sapi Res. Sapi Res. Sapi Res. Kara talks a lot about it in her book. Oh, yeah, she does. And I've read both of those books. So The Woman Who Would Be King and When Women Ruled the World. Enjoyed both of them. But I don't actually remember who argues that Smenkare is Nefertiti. I find it compelling. I mean, it's definitely a worthwhile hypothesis. We don't have enough evidence to decide the case, but as I remember, the argument I thought was quite good. I first learned about the theory in the historical fiction book Nefertiti by Michelle Moran, and I heard more about it in other documentaries. Yeah, this is a real, very serious hypothesis, and there is evidence for... I'm not going to remember all of it off the top of my head. I would really need to look it up, so, you know, take this with a grain of salt. But there is... If you look at the way Nefertiti represented her name over time, you can see these gradual changes where it's sort of becoming masculinized, and it would be sort of a natural extension of what was already happening. It's not at all atypical for female Egyptian rulers to style themselves as men, because it was a male-dominated society, and that was sort of necessary. This is it. Is this going to be Sekhmet? What do we think? Oh, sweet. The Divine Lion. I love it. So I say things like hypothesis and, you know, we don't know for sure, just to be as absolutely sort of rigorous as possible. But the argument is very compelling, and could very easily be correct. I have no reason to object to it. Yeah, so reestablishing the political goodwill with the Amun priesthood would have been absolutely essential. So, you know, people debate Akhenaten all the time. I enjoy these debates. I think it's a really interesting topic. I absolutely despise Akhenaten as a person. I think he's just like such a creepy dude. Like, just about everything about him, to me, kind of has this whiff of mental illness about it. Like, I suspect that he was a genuinely mentally ill person, but he was absolutely powerful, and his father had been a very successful pharaoh, so he had a lot of leeway to screw up, essentially. Oops, like I just did. Rulers of all sorts have to maintain the support of the people who keep them in power. In the case of Akhenaten, that would have been a much easier job for him. So he was not an upstart. He didn't gain power through a political coup. How in the hell am I so bad at this? He had the most secure rule of just about any king in history, and so he was able to do weird stuff and get away with it, and I think that's largely what happened. Let's see if I can climb on top of this thing again. Come on, jump. Yeah, okay. So he was able to get away with things that almost no one in all of human history is able to get away with. The fact that he's so crazy is perfect. Is a perfect reason to make him a Templar. Yeah, absolutely. And it's just this rare moment in history in just about any sort of way. So if you are the legitimate king, that claim to legitimacy makes your needs to shore up your own power base less onerous. So this is the first time I've heard someone openly say they despise Akhenaten. It's very interesting, but I also don't like him very much. Yeah, I'm one of the few people who actually says this that I know of. I think there's something I need to get over there. A lot of people try really hard to be kind of clinical about these sorts of things, but I love Egyptian art. I spend most of my time interacting with Egyptian art in some way, and I don't even dislike Amarna period art. I just think that there's something in the way Akhenaten communicates that that suggests to me that he was genuinely mentally ill. That's not just an exaggeration. That's literally true. I can't prove it, right? Because like, what evidence am I ever going to adduce that would convince anyone who doesn't already feel inclined to agree with me? None. Obviously, I can never prove it. Whoa. But I've spent an awful lot of time looking at Egyptian art, enough to kind of tell when something doesn't quite feel right. And I've also been personally acquainted with people with severe mental illness, enough to kind of know how that manifests itself in someone's behavior. And for me, it's very clear that there's something going on there. I also think he was probably really mean. I think he was a mean person. So yeah, I just don't like the guy. It's the ancient version of What Was Wrong with William Blake. I don't know what this is, What Was Wrong with William Blake. What was wrong with William Blake?
Whoa.
Was he crazy? Is that like a rumor? If so, I have not heard that. Explain what feels wrong about the art. Huh. Gosh, I really should be able to. This is probably the wrong context to do it in, because I can't actually pull something up and like put things side by side and say, this feels slightly... I also want to talk about it in a way that doesn't make it sound like I'm disparaging mental illness, because that's not my intention. But there... so you can go online and you can Google, you know, art created by people under the influence of various different like mind-altering substances, and you can see the way that, you know, they'll do the same picture over and over, but on the one hand they're like on marijuana, and then in the next picture they're on LSD, and then the next one they're on amphetamines or whatever, and you can see sort of telltale signs in the art itself that you would connect with the stereotyped effects of those substances, and I feel like it's something like that. I think there's something in the way Akhenaten depicts himself that I automatically associate with mental illness. I can't even really say what it is. I wish I could. Before making any sort of, like, you know, rigorous scientific argument like that, I would need to be able to, like, pinpoint it exactly. It's more of kind of a feeling. It's just like something about it just feels off, and not just off in a way that I can't describe, but off in a very specific way that I've seen before. It looks Asian. I wouldn't say that it doesn't look Asian to me. Yeah, I don't know how I would describe it. I'm attacking this place because I happen to be stopping by. Oh, I just walked into fire. I think I probably shouldn't be attacking this place. I'm gonna leave. I'm just gonna leave. Oh, it's just me. Eyes are crafted in a way where looking at the sun is painful. Huh. That could be it. Result of all those open-air courtyards. Whoa. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. As a person that has anxiety, depression, and trauma from medical stuff, I can understand what you mean. Yeah, I also have those things. I can show you my really cool... I don't know if you can see it in this lighting, but I have like a massive surgery scar down my chest, so I've definitely been through my share of traumatic experiences and like the mental health issues that come with that. Really where this comes from is I had a close personal friend who, at the usual age when schizophrenia emerges, we learned that he was schizophrenic, and then of course we learned that his mother was too, and that it, you know, it was always quite likely that it would emerge. So I had a close friend who, for lack of a better term, went completely insane while I was regularly hanging out with him, to the point where he was having like vivid visual hallucinations while we were having perfectly ordinary conversations and things like that. And I remember, oops, sorry. I remember kind of the anxiety that came with that, because he was saying things that were really alarming. Like at one point he thought that my roommate's cat was like really a robot who was recording secret messages about him, so we sent the cat to stay somewhere else because we were afraid that the cat might be in danger. So I distinctly remember all those kind of like those off things and the anxiety that came with it, and that's the same sort of feeling that I get from Amarna period art. For me, it kind of triggers those memories of like very serious mental illness that could have immediate frightening consequences. And I don't think I can explain it much better than that, honestly. It's just kind of like I mean, if I'm being overly confident, I would say it's like kind of, you know it when you see it sort of thing, but I don't think that's really fair. I think to really make a good case, I'm obligated to oh, I probably should have saved that. I think I'm obligated to actually be able to point to things rather than just my own, you know, anecdotal experiences and impressions, which are not evidence, obviously. But that's where I'm coming from, where I say that. It reminds me of these experiences I've had with mental illness, with seeing it develop in someone else, and kind of seeing the signs, and they just look so similar to me. It has been posited that Aten worship was really the cult worship of his father Amenhotep. Oh, that's a very good point. So what I was saying before about him being in like the best position of just about any king ever, so he inherited a fabulously wealthy, stable government where he was the legitimate heir. So a king in that position doesn't really have to do as much work to keep people in line. So like if you are the dictator of a country who has like won power through a military coup, you have to pay a lot of supporters a lot of money all the time to keep people maintaining your legitimacy. But if you're in a position like Akhenaten, you actually don't have to do that much to maintain your position. You're in really good shape to kind of do whatever you want. And a big part of that is Amenhotep III and the legacy that he left. And Atenism is definitely a component of that, and there are really good arguments that it's actually that these religious things that we're seeing are just kind of the tip of the iceberg, and they are so thoroughly mixed with the political situation that oh my gosh, so many people talking in the background. So if that's the case, if these things, if the religious things that we're seeing are sort of the tip of the iceberg and they're tied in with these political things, then we can hypothesize that this is essentially a consolidation of power. Right? The Amun priesthood was very powerful. They were quasi-independent. If you were a king that inherited absolute power in conditions of extreme stability and military might, you might be prudent to try to wrest some of that power from the priesthood. And an easy way to do that might be to try to create your own replacement for the popularity of those religious ideas. So yeah, it very easily could be kind of the worship of Amenhotep III as an attempt to replace the supremacy of the Amun cult as a totally politically motivated move.
Have you seen my Book of the Dead in your travels, Medjay? I went all the way to Memphis to buy it.
No. How was it lost?
Bandits. They came from the dunes nearby. When the leader saw how I cared for the book, he wrenched it from me. I thought my heart would stop.
I can help. I do not fear them.
I have been praying for someone like you.
Oh, this man is blind.
That book will unite me with my wife's spirit.
There you are, Father. We are going home.
But this Medjay is helping me.
Oh, yes? You
Yeah,
are going
we'll
to find
help him.
his book? If by some miracle you do, thank you.
Well, tell me where to look at least. Jeez. It could be anywhere.
Did you hear where the bandits meant to go?
Oh, the leader told us to meet him.
Yeah, so
at the
like
necropolis.
Akhenaten Nefertiti giving gold to the people.
We live nearby.
That's pretty clear effort to shore up popular support, and probably specifically an effort to siphon off popular support from the Amun priesthood. That's my opinion. And again, I can't prove it. That's also not what I work on, so I'm about as much an expert on that as anybody. There it is. I was waiting for it. There they are. These fucking mangoes. Now that we're here, I can actually, like, this is one that I can prove to you. So let's just, like, look around this world and just experience the world of ancient Egypt and all its sights and colors and houses. And obviously that cyan color is off. But if we just glance around here, like, wow, this could be a painting on the wall of an Egyptian tomb. I mean, everything looks so ancient Egyptian. It's like spot on. Nothing seems at all out of place. And let's go to one of these food carts or one of these market stalls and look at what they're selling. Oh my gosh. Apples, Oh, sorry, person I just crashed into. We've got grapes. Oh, we've got cucumbers and cabbages. There's definitely an Avatar reference in there, but I don't know. I'm not creative enough to come up with it. Something about cabbages. Everything fits perfectly. The color palette, the imagery, everything is spot on, except what is this? Mangoes. I promise you, in all of Egyptian tomb scenes, you will thank you for the cabbages. Yes. In all of Egyptian tomb scenes, you will never find a this color palette, this kind of like red to yellow to green gradient. You will not find it because mangoes weren't imported into Egypt until the Middle Ages. So it just was not part of the landscape, and as a result of not being part of the landscape, it wasn't part of the art either, because the art was entirely built on like recreating the natural beauty of Egypt and the places where people lived. So in my other thing, I complained a lot about the mangoes, and then it became kind of a running joke because obviously I complained way too much about the mangoes, and it was just kind of silly because it's such a minor detail, and I'm going into way too much about it. But in my defense, everything else fits perfectly. Like all the colors are right, all of the plants are right. Everything looks like it could come right off the wall of an ancient Egyptian tomb, except for those damned mangoes. And so, as a result, they just annoy the crap out of me. So there you are, the mangoes.
Dealt with the trafficking of false mummies.
Thank you.
Is that it? I just tell him that?
How can I ease the burdens of an old friend?
Tonight, we will stage a grand
It's like a Greek
spectacle.
vase.
Our goddess Sekhmet defends the people against Isfet's chaos.
But Pamu, our champion, is nowhere to be found. The High Priest will judge me responsible for his absence.
I'll have a look.
Sekhmet bless you. His home is near the market, but check the tavern first. It pains me to ask you for a further favor.
Hydrea. Good to know. I'm gonna smash it because it doesn't. I don't feel like it belongs. Look at this nice boat for like a boat procession. Wait, that was just a thing saying to accept this quest, which I thought I already did. Is it called Lady of Slaughter? Find and bring Pamu to the market. So nice. Hydrea. Okay. Well, I actually don't know anything about it either way, so, yeah. I would have had no idea. I'm not proud to admit, but yeah. I'm pretty ignorant when it comes to the subject of Greek vases. That's him. There he is. He's like drunk.
This must be Pamu. Ugh. The man stinks of beer.
Oh, thank you. I've been trying to get him to leave for hours.
So he needs to splash some water in this guy's face. Yeah. I'm just more familiar with Egyptian things. I do actually have a degree in classics, but it's kind of funny. Like, I feel like I didn't do a lot of history and culture. I took so many language classes. And I actually did a lot less on some, like, I've never taken a class where we talked about Greek vases in any way whatsoever. Is it too much to ask from other good game companies to make AC Origins quality ancient Egyptian game? No, I really don't think so. I think any AAA game should aspire to this level of quality. I really don't. I don't see an excuse. I mean, the argument that's always made is that, like, well, if we make it to appeal to scholars, they're all such, like, dweeby pedants. We'll never please them anyway, so why bother? I mean, you guys have been listening to me for hours talk about this. I really don't think that would be a fair characterization. I'm pretty lenient, except for the mangoes. Except for the mangoes. I'm very lenient in terms of, like, how much I let things slide and how much I say, like, this is a game, it's meant to be fun, it doesn't have to be perfect. But yeah, I mean, let's make it historically accurate. Look how much depth there is in this story as a result of them making the effort to put historical accuracy in here. It makes the game itself better. It makes it better for people who don't give a shit about Egyptology, because it adds, you know, narrative depth. There's backstory here. Okay, speak to the high priest about replacing Pamu. Yeah, let's do that. I mean, if you're a writer, you're trying to create a world, you know, you don't want to get caught up in world builder's disease where you name everybody's cat and everything and you never actually write any of the story. But hey, ancient Egypt's already there. If you're writing historical fiction, all the background details are already sitting there just waiting to be used. How easy would it be to just use it? So yeah, I really don't think there's an excuse not to do that.
I am here to fight for Skemet.
You're not Pamu. He was meant to play Skemet.
Pamu is ill. He is recovering at the temple.
Fine. Follow me.
All right. Gonna get to fight some people. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. Yeah. Video games are awesome if you have to be stuck at home recovering from an illness. I'm glad you found this one.
You must stay vigilant.
I'm very glad to hear that.
Skemet will receive a fine tribute.
Beloved of Skemet, who illumines the double land with her flame.
Come, the crowd awaits.
Am I wearing the outfit? Yes. Yes.
Of our custom. We unveil to you a ritual that has guarded us for century upon century.
For me, it was the Sandman series. When I was in the hospital with my heart condition, I read all the Sandman like trade paperbacks from beginning to end, and that was fantastic. I love the green fire. Like some kind of like copper compound? That's very believable that that would exist. I don't know if they had that, but I think that's very plausible. Because Egyptian blue, the pigment, is made... It's pretty complicated chemistry to produce it from copper. So the idea that they could use like cupric oxide or whatever to produce green flames for rituals, I definitely buy that. I think it's super cool too. I think the first time I played this game was 2018. Yeah. Yeah, this isn't my first playthrough either. I've played it all the way through multiple times. Can I charge? Nope. Okay, dodge.
Goddess of order. Tampering with her scales of judgment, he grew fat on the souls of mortals.
Will fall before the goddess!
Ma'at cast him out of the hall of justice. In his wonder, he
wow.
returned.
He was quick with that one.
Knew his heart and guarded the door against him. Their battle lasted 20 days and nights.
Man, I'm so slow with the block. Let's try again.
Wait, which one is Skemet and which one is Isfet?
Skemet's might enlivens your arm. Look, his weapon is bathed in Sekhmet's fire. The warrior of Sekhmet beats back chaos. The lioness's fangs will
Sucks to have to play Isfet. You pretty much know you have to take a dive. Oh, how do I do that? Oh, I forgot about that. That is so sweet. That's not in the other games.
Will cleave the darkness. Look, his weapon is bathed in Sekhmet's fire. The lioness's fangs will cleave the darkness. The warrior of Sekhmet beats back chaos.
Yeah, I got that one just in time. I definitely had like a little like rage attack thing.
Skemet's might enlivens your arm.
Run away. Oops.
Look, his weapon is bathed in Skemet's fire.
Wow.
The
Oh man, I can do this. Yeah. Sweet.
The warrior of Skemet, back chaos. Skemet's might enlivens your arm. Look, his weapon is bathed in Skemet's fire.
Got him. Okay. I play the game more if the combat and early clunky skill trees were better. Yeah, for sure. I still like the combat. I think they have made it even better in the newer games, but this compared to earlier Assassin's Creed games, the combat is way better. It's like no comparison. Any of the DLC, The Curse of the Pharaohs? Yeah, I have all the DLCs. When I say full playthrough, I mean that in the fullest possible sense of the term. This YouTube series is going to go into the hundreds of hours by the time it's done.
You are always welcome in Yamu, whenever your journeys bring you to our gnome.
Okay, so I have a good friend here. He seems like a nice guy. Got some XP. Oh, I got an Abila point.
Staff of the goddess as 4 tokens of our respect.
I wonder what Menahet is meant to mean. Menahet. 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 Menhet. You say this, you say they've improved the parkour, but I turned on that little... I'm looking at Menhet, that's what's happening here. You say this, but I get the little stuck warning quite a lot more in Valhalla than I get it in Origins or Odyssey. You know that little... You can turn on the little beep that's like beep beep when you're stuck. I get that all the time in Valhalla, and like most of the time I'm like stuck on a leaf or something. It's super annoying. I'm looking at Menahet. That's right. Meneh means wax, but obviously that's not the feminine version. Nothing's coming up. What are they supposed to mean by that? Menahet. I need to try it with different H's. Hang on. How are the pronunciations? They are just really bad. Oh, you're saying the parkour is worse. Yeah, the parkour in Valhalla has a lot of bugs. It gets pretty clunky. The pronunciation in these games, so that's a good question because it brings up a fairly large topic that I'll just briefly touch on right now. So we don't actually know how Middle Egyptian was pronounced, and Middle Egyptian is the language that is written in places like this. That's so if you see hieroglyphs, they're probably in Middle Egyptian, and that's the first hieroglyphic language that students study at universities, etc. We don't know how it was pronounced, and the script only writes the consonants. So in order to cope with that, what we do is we pronounce all the words with an E in between the consonants. So you might have seen things like Amenhetep or Imenhetep instead of Amunhotep. And that's on purpose. We're saying Hetep with E's in the places of all the vowels in order to demonstrate that we don't actually know what the pronunciation is. We know it's not E because at this time in Egyptian it didn't really have the vowel E, so that couldn't possibly be correct. So it's kind of it's a deliberate fiction, and it's kind of this rigorous scientific thing where we're saying like, here's a fake pronunciation of this word that we're using for convenience because we have to be able to talk to one another somehow, but it's not the correct pronunciation that would have been used at the time. In the time that this game is set, which I believe is 59 BC, we actually know exactly how the language was pronounced because it's essentially Coptic, which is a subject that I teach. We have free Coptic classes every Saturday morning, so if you're interested in that, go on my YouTube channel and look at those videos. It's 48 BC. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. I can never remember whether it's... that first screen, it says like X BC, and I can never remember whether it's 59 or 49, and it drives me nuts. Okay, so it's 49 BC, and now it's 48 BC. Point still stands because a 10-year difference isn't all that great in linguistic history. Languages don't change quite that rapidly. So we know exactly how this language was pronounced. For whatever reason, the makers of this game didn't consult specialists in Egyptian language. They consulted specialists in Egyptian art and culture and archaeology and other things, but not in language. So they chose to just use the fake pronunciation of Middle Egyptian. So the short answer is that the pronunciation is totally wrong. The longer answer is that it's accidentally totally wrong for a fairly decent reason. And the even longer answer you can learn by attending my Coptic and then hieroglyphic Egyptian classes and learning all about the phonetics of the Egyptian language and why we know exactly how this should sound and why we know that the way it sounds in this game is not correct. Okay, I think that's probably the shortest answer I've ever given to that question, and it was still long-winded as fuck. So sorry about that. You just asked a specialist on Egyptian language about Egyptian language. There's just no way you're not getting a long ass answer. I tried, I really did. Yeah. Let's go do this side quest. It's called Birthright. See what that's about. Still haven't solved that papyrus puzzle. Oh, good. I'm glad it was a good answer. Yeah, and there's.
Strange to see bodies left out like this.
Well, they're in the
embalmer
natron.
must know more.
Okay, let's speak to the embalmer. What a lovely place. I mean, aside from the corpses, one almost gets the impression the subject irks you even more than the mangoes. Yes, it does. It irks me so much more than the mangoes. The mangoes is just like a fun, silly thing where it's like, why was I being so pedantic about the stupid mangoes? And the real reason is that I love Egyptian art, and I love the, you know, all the aesthetics of it, and that just kind of like breaks immersion for me, but it's like totally minor, and who cares? On the subject of language, this could be a simulation of the spoken environment of a dead language, which is not something that exists, but it's something that learners of dead languages would obviously love, because you can't have immersion learning with dead languages. They're dead. Doesn't exist, but we could simulate it with video games. And that's, I mean, that's just like the nerdiest thing anyone's ever said, but it's also super fun. So I find it's just such a missed opportunity.
To see 3 dead left neglected.
Oh, double Uray. That's strange.
They
You
were
must
just
be a...
brought here, Magi. A family struck down by the sword.
It's
Only
generally
the
a
daughter,
Nubian
Ira, survived.
royal symbol when
She
you have the
carried
double
them here
Uray.
one by one. Poor girl, all by herself now. A tragic story.
Tragic indeed. Where is she now?
You can find her on the abandoned date farm near the road where her family died.
Abandoned date farm.
Ira
Okay.
sounds like a woman worth meeting.
Yeah, there aren't that many Egyptologists. I don't think it's just about where you are in the United States. I'm in Houston right now, because that's like where I'm from. COVID, long story. But yeah, if you're in the Northeast, which is where I lived until recently, you're much more likely to find Egyptologists. But there are some great Egyptologists. A classmate of mine, Julia Trochet, teaches at a university in Missouri. It's not Mizzou, it's the other one. Somebody just put it in the comments. I know, like, somebody's going to instantly know the answer. And I'm supposed to know the answer. I'm just drawing a blank. But yeah, there's some good Egyptologists in the Midwest of the U.S. There's just... our density is so low. There's only, you know, maybe 1,000 Egyptologists total worldwide. Yeah, you'll find a bunch at Chicago, that's for sure. And Chicago is still one of the very best places you can study Egyptology. I'm personally biased in favor of Brown, because that's where I chose to go do my PhD, but yeah, really great work coming out of U Chicago also. I'm supposed to be finding something here. just missing it.
Not so far.
There might be more than that. I mean, 1,000 is obviously just kind of a round number, but there's not a lot more than that. I doubt it's 2,000, honestly. It's not that many people. RC is the biggest U.S. conference, and it normally has around 350 attendees, and of those, I would say less than half are professional Egyptologists. A lot of people are students or just you know, interested. I'm going to say the word amateur, but I don't. Obviously, that's a word that kind of has a negative connotation. I don't intend it to sound negative. There are plenty of people who study Egyptology, just not as their main profession. But even then, that's 350 people in the U.S., and the U.S. is a pretty sizable proportion of the world's population. So, yeah, you do the math. Okay, let's see if there's like. The population of the U.S. is roughly 1/20th of the population of the world, if I'm just kind of my back of the envelope calculation is right. So if there's about 100 professional Egyptologists in the U.S., if you just extrapolate those numbers very roughly, that puts you at about 2,000 worldwide. So yeah, that's about right. So yeah, you get.
Hold on.
Oh, someone spotted me? Oh no. I'm doing so badly at this. I'm distracted by the number of Egyptologists. I need to be focusing on... Okay, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Can't only be 4. I guess it can. Someone's coming my way. I'm gonna have to take him out. Oops. What was that?
Hey!
Hey.
Find the girl! The first to find her will get an extra ration of beer!
Oh boy. Free beer.
Has the danger passed?
Ah. Okay, she's in this well.
She's in
it's
the
always in the well. Yep.
Pray none of the soldiers heard that.
Wait. What's it telling me to do? Oh, there's one more soldier. I miscounted. Oh, you saw him. Good call. Kitsune Hayashi? I hope I'm saying your name correctly. Kitsune Hayashi. Good call. Do you have any impression whether Egyptology is bigger, more widely studied in the US or in Europe? Definitely bigger in Europe. So we're... my wife and I are moving to Berlin for her job, but obviously I'm not on a... I don't have a permanent job. I'm on a short-term postdoctoral contract at ISAW at NYU. And I'm going to be looking for jobs, and I am extremely excited to be looking for academic jobs in Europe rather than in the United States. There's all kinds of reasons there. You know, I could deliver an impromptu lecture on that subject all by itself, but there's issues of funding, there's issues of public attitudes towards research. Obviously, a lot of Egyptology is kind of very pure science type stuff. It doesn't have a lot of practical applications, and when you're in a hyper-capitalist environment, that's a pretty tough sell.
Peace, Iras. All I want is to speak with you.
The last man to say so. Murdered my family.
I've come to help you, Iras.
How do you come to know my name?
A priest told me of you.
Ah. My kin have owned this land for centuries, but left it barren until now. A soldier came to us, saying his master held a deed of sale. My father refused to concede the property. Then, well, The rest is as you know it.
Yeah.
What will you do?
The farm is my birthright.
Fixing the funding
I will work
issues
it as long as I can.
is primary, but
I can ensure you are not harassed
yeah,
by soldiers.
and
You may
I don't know. Anti-intellectualism runs really deep in the United States,
The road to Alexandria.
and that's you know, that's kind of one of
If you fail,
the funding is the
world
symptom,
by preserving my family's legacy.
not necessarily the cause. Is this maybe the date farm where the papyrus puzzle is? Is there a little walled enclosure? There are people that only want Egyptians to be Egyptologists. Yeah, there are people who feel that way. I found that they're definitely not the majority, and I've never really met or interacted with people who feel that way. I have very often interacted with Egyptians who believe that there should be better access. Oh, this is where it is. That's got to be it. It's a little walled enclosure. So, as of right now, in order to become a professional Egyptologist, yeah, got it. Nice. Oh, it's a legendary shield. That's actually a pretty sweet treasure. In order to become a professional Egyptologist, you have to get a PhD from a Western university. That's not... I'm not saying that as a good thing. I'm saying that as just a statement of the reality on the ground. Obviously, I don't think that's okay. Oh, Sekhmet costume. Pretty much no reasonable person thinks that's a good state of affairs. Anti-intellectualism. Yeah, people often attack these fields of studies that don't produce material value. No, I will not dismantle the legendary. Promise you that. I'm keeping this one, even though it's ugly as shit. I am not a fan of the way this looks, but health on parry is pretty valuable, especially because I need to work on my parries. So the problem of there not being sufficient educational resources for Egyptians to become Egyptologists, that I think is a big problem, and it's it's the sort of issue that I will happily invest my own time and effort into addressing, because it is really important that Egyptian people be able to access their own cultural heritage and be able to be included in the academic study of their own history and all of those things. That's huge. It's hard to imagine a more important issue for this field than that. But as far as whether non-Egyptians are able to study it, like someone like me, I'm a Texan. I'm white. My ancestry is all Irish, British, and German, as far back as we know, and we know pretty far back. So I don't have any ancestral connection to Egypt, but I've never had anyone look askance at me for studying it. So I think I plugged this issue in the podcast. I hope I did. Yeah, it's a big issue. The American University in Cairo is doing a ton to address this issue. They face all the same limitations that any other academic institution would. They don't have infinite funds. They don't have infinite teaching capacity or any of these. Resources are limited for them, but in spite of that, they have done a ton of really amazing work to make the field more accessible to Egyptians. But there's still a lot more to be done. And I think I don't think we can say, I don't know if we'll ever be able to say that we finished, but I don't think we can say that we've even made substantial progress until a much, much higher proportion of professional Egyptologists are born and raised in Egypt. And right now it's tiny. I mean, it's in the single-digit percentiles. It's just, totally unacceptable. But that's also kind of part of what all of these things that we're doing are about. Not necessarily that issue alone, but these issues of access to these subjects. my Coptic course is entirely about access, so this subject is very difficult to access if you don't go to an elite university. So I created the free online course for a bunch of different reasons, but a big part of it was this, the importance of access. Okay, I need to go into this villa for some reason, and oh man, I wish I had my sleep skill, because it's about to turn daylight and everyone's gonna wake up. Oh man, I'm just here at like exactly the right time. I'm gonna go try to kill people before they wake up.
They will attack on sight here.
Yeah, they totally will. And I didn't do enough.
A letter on fine papyrus.
Didn't do enough to spot everyone, but we're going anyway. Kara caused some ripples by saying we don't need a billion Egyptologists. Yeah, and God bless her. Kara will say exactly what she thinks, and I think she should. And I actually happen to agree with her. We don't need a billion Egyptologists. We need enough people to keep the study of the subject alive and well. We need to have a healthy academic field. We need to make sure that we're valuing historical subjects that don't necessarily produce value for corporations or whatever it is that people try to use as their only metric for measuring value. All that's true, but at the same time, it's also true that we don't need to just what she's talking about is that a lot of academic organizations are just basically using grad students to do a lot of the grunt work and just cranking out PhDs. And there aren't jobs for those people, and there never will be, because we are never going to need 1,000 professors of Egyptology. It's just not realistic. And there's a really severe case of people kind of lying to themselves about what the future of this field is going to look like. It's never going to be engineering or computer science or one of these fields where there's just so much real demand that we can expect to employ hundreds and hundreds of people. It just isn't. And I think it kind of takes someone like Kara, who's in a safe position in her career, to say things like that, because people kind of just don't want to accept it. But that's the truth. There was a massacre at SOAS in London just last year. Yeah, I'm aware of that. Yeah, they basically ended all of their ancient world disciplines. Yeah, things like that are going to continue to happen, actually. YouTube refuses to give the date form to me. That yelping Vlakos? Lexi? Vlakos? What is Vlakos? Says my deed of sale is false. He has to die. His family too. Make it seem like an accident. And we'll share in the farm's profit. For now, your man can settle my country villa. Okay, so this Sophronios is trying to steal these people's farm. Sounds like a real asshole to me.
Yet another man made butcher for the sake of wealth.
I'm not sure about Vlakos. It doesn't sound like a nice thing. It doesn't sound like a word that you would want to be called. Where is that? Oh, Vlakas is the word for idiot. Yeah, it might just be kind of a slight bastardization of that. There's so much valuable stuff in here. Man, what an ugly room. What is the deal with the Romans and painting everything blood red? Why would that be appealing? Who wants to sit in a room whose walls are painted blood red? Psychopaths. That is just not pleasant. Oh, is it because these professions don't generate profit? Yeah, that's part of it. You know, there's always going to be... people have to eat. We need stuff. There's always going to be a market component to these things. Even in the most utopian society, I think. Like, even the Star Trek universe doesn't have a billion Egyptologists. But another part of it is level of demand. So, like, why would you have why would you have 1,000 Egyptologists who each has one student? When you could have, you know, I don't know, I forgot my own math. Why have 1,000 teaching one student each when you could have 100 teaching 10 students? It just doesn't make any sense. It's not even really a matter of, like, even if you had infinite funds or whatever, it's just a poor use of human effort. So yeah, the economic part's there, the demand part is there. I think that's one of the things that organizations like SASA are sort of trying to address. Is it's not necessarily a problem of either supply or demand. It's actually a problem of information cost. So it is very difficult to connect the supply and the demand. There are plenty of people like me out there who, I love teaching, I love talking about this subject, I'll happily do it all day, every day. If somebody wants to pay me enough so that I can have a roof over my head and food to eat, awesome. But I'm already doing it, and that's not happening. So you can be pretty confident that I would go right on doing it. And it would just be super nice if I didn't have to worry about where my next meal was going to come from. And then there are thousands upon thousands of people out there interested in learning about this subject. So how do we connect the two of these together? This is it, right? Like, you're looking at it. SASA is doing exactly that. They're trying to bridge that gap. Academia has done a very poor job of thus far of taking advantage of the information capacity of the internet. Any good podcasts on Egyptology? Yeah, the History of Egypt podcast. It's done by a guy from New Zealand whose name is... Crap. What is his name? I can't think of it. I haven't listened to it in a few months. History of Egypt podcast. If you search for that, you'll definitely find it. I know someone in the chat right now knows his name. Starts with a D. What is it?
Whoa.
It's so good. Dominic Perry, that's it. Oh, thank you. Yeah, so he's a student of Egyptology, I believe, in New Zealand, who's been doing this History of Egypt podcast as his own personal project. It's absolutely awesome. Does a great job. There's the Ozymandias project, of course, which I'm sure someone here will be able to tell us more about. It's just like straight up just assassinate random people. Wow. Man, I really want the dual wield or whatever, like switch weapon capability. This is not the right weapon for these circumstances.
To a pitiful existence. I will tell Liras of this if I see her again.
They do that so they know that they're inferior interior decorators. I am glad I did not my words, not my words. But I'm not going to disagree. Oh, Hounds and Jackals. This is a real ancient Egyptian game. This is cool. This is a real game called Hounds and Jackals being played there. The little game pieces are they're like little pegs with like a hound or a jackal head on them. Oh, check out episode 5 of the Ozymandias Project, where you will get to listen to me ramble on for as long as you could possibly want. It's a good thing I found a job that involves me talking, because boy can I talk. Confirm kill. Oh man, this is the thing that, like, I know it's so gruesome, but Valhalla absolutely crushed it on the confirm kill, because in here it basically does nothing. Valhalla, like, it does this, like, point of view of the actual blade, like, going into the person's heart, and it is kind of gross, honestly. I'm not squeamish, but it's even for me, like, wow, that is graphic. But I love that they came up with a really cool animation to go with that confirm kill action, because otherwise it just seems kind of pointless. They could definitely bring that into the other games. That was a cool improvement. Cucumbers were super popular. It's pretty Gucci gruesome, yes. Cucumbers were a really common staple food item in ancient Egypt, which is cool that they're just everywhere in this game, because that's probably quite realistic. Let's see. Oh, we have a market. Yes. We have cabbages, carrots. Man, I wasted so much of my, I don't know what you call it, my leeway for talking about the things that I wasted it all on the mangoes. The carrots would not have been orange, they would have been purple. Okay, you can be quiet, lady, and you're not helping. Yeah, pomegranates were widely eaten in ancient Egypt. They're depicted in art pretty often. Weirdly enough, it couldn't have been that early, because the word that we have for it... Oh my gosh. Lady, be quiet. I'm gonna have to look at the words. I feel like there's something weird about the linguistics on pomegranates. Fresh juice, so strawberry, banana, lemonade with sugar. They did not have sugar cane. So, sorry to disappoint. They also didn't have that big metal machine that they put the sugar cane through to get the juice from it, obviously. But they didn't have sugar cane at all. That was only hadn't been imported from Southeast Asia yet. But yeah, sugar cane juice in Egypt is like one of the best things I've ever tasted in my entire life. And yeah, you can't get it anywhere else. I went and tried to buy sugar cane in the United States, and it wasn't fresh. Like, you couldn't even make juice from it. It wasn't good. And I complained to the grocery store, and they were like, well, that's how it is when we get it. And I was like, you don't get it fresh from, like, the plant. You get it after it's already started to rot and doesn't taste good anymore. And they were like, yeah. And I was like, okay. Well, that sucks. What else we got? So we got olives, obviously. Tons of olives. Cucumbers, lettuce. Those look like onions, carrots. All authentic. Except the mangoes, which weren't imported yet. Apples, yes, were imported in Egypt by this time. The are those lemons? Those are probably citrons, which were imported in Egypt by this time. The words for those things are the same as the Canaanite words, because they were imported via the Levant. Lexi has entered the chat. Yes, she is speaking Greek. Very obnoxiously. I'm seriously considering murdering an innocent person. Yeah, everything in this market would have been present. Lemons actually hadn't been invented yet. Lemons are a hybrid of citrons and another citrus fruit. I don't know. Somebody Google it and tell me. I know lemons are hybrids. So those would have been citrons, but they're large. They look like citrons to me. So I think that's true. Pears? I think yes. Oh, she's speaking Greek, like modern Greek. Wait, what am I actually doing game-wise? I've been looking at all the produce in the market, and I totally forgot that I was supposed to be doing things. These are probably almonds. What are these? I don't know what this is meant to be. These look like SpaghettiOs, which definitely weren't invented. That's presumably salt. Oh, Senu is here. I'm gonna pet Senu real quick. Oh my goodness. So cute. Okay. Baskets of nuts. Or grain. Yeah, probably grain. I don't know why I thought nuts. It doesn't make any sense. Let's sell some shit.
Something you need, friend?
Flip-flops for real, for sure. Sell unnecessary items. Should I sell these things or break them down? I feel like takes me out of the immersion to hear the modern Greek. That's worse than the mangoes, Lexi, honestly. I mean, you're right, but also, like, wow. Okay, so is it more advantageous to sell weapons that I acquire from other soldiers, or is it more advantageous to break them down for the resources? I think resources at this point, right? Because I've still got things to upgrade and stuff.
Pleasure doing business.
Sell them for money. What are you basing that on? Are you basing that on a love of money? Because resources are hella expensive right now.
Can I help you?
Wait, I can't even buy resources yet. That's a skill. No, I'm not doing what you say. I'm not listening to you. I think I need the... Goodbye. I think I need the resources. Their English is nowhere near Proto-Germanic either. Classic. Wait, I just completed that quest, right? So I'm just like... I'm just wandering about aimlessly. There are going to be so many parts of this thing where it's like... or it's me just like wandering around confused about what it is I'm supposed to be doing. I think I really should... Oh, I have to find this man's Book of the Dead. I promised him. Aya's only 400 meters away, though. Yeah. Okay, definitely gonna do this main quest. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I disagree with you about the resources, but I'm with you on Aya. We're going to get Aya. Yeah. Gotta get that hidden blade. Disinvan Perez. I don't know what any of those things mean. It's all Greek to me. I love how the guy said, "What's wrong with you?" right when I made that terrible joke. It's so perfect. What the fuck is the matter with you?
Snake will get his answer.
Oh, I have to go inside the library. Yep. I think they did a pretty good job with this. I mean, for one thing, this looks and feels just like downtown Alexandria does now. Even though none of these buildings are still there, obviously.
By the great library.
I find Aya among all these endless scrolls.
I find that Thanos talks too much.
He has some interesting ideas. Very radical. It's almost wonderful.
The knowledge of the entire world is at your fingertips.
Look at that sweet Cerberus.
All right. Serapis. Now what? Where is Aya?
Ah, Serapis. I wrote a tragic comic pastoral epic centered on him.
Ah.
You're by, I guess. Aya's eager to see you.
What'd she say?
Good luck, guys. Good luck. You do the convincing. I mean, obviously I'm down.
I am sorry, my good fellow. You appear to be drunk. This library is for serious scholars only. She is in hiding.
Who are you?
Ah, interested in Homeric verse, eh? This way, please. I am Aya's cousin, Phanos.
Ah, yes, Phanos.
Wait,
Nice
Aya's
to meet you
cousin
in
is
person.
Greek?
Tell me what is happening with Aya.
Definitely a little lost on the lore here.
Gennadios sent his men on a house-to-house search. Often they drag people into the street.
His
and
back
torture
is like the
them for
hairiest
information.
back I've ever seen in my whole life. It's like amazingly hairy.
A monster. The Phylakitae of Alexander.
If I had that, I would
He is
definitely
ravaging
sport
the
it
city to
too.
find her.
And where is she now?
I have a very powerful friend, Apollodorus. No doubt you have heard of him.
I have not.
You will. In any case, he made a hiding place available to Aya after she...
I don't know if y'all can hear that, but like the echo of his voice changes dramatically when we leave the library.
It is a mess
It's pretty
of
cool.
political intrigue. She will explain all. Fear not.
Okay, we're running. We're running there.
Look!
We're running.
That's Phanos. He thinks he's a poet.
The modern Sophocles.
This is as far as I go.
It's so weird that, to me that he says he thinks he's a poet. Like, okay. Like, what are the criteria for being a poet? You make poetry. Like, it's not like...
Right there.
I think I have to climb up this thing. There we go. Yeah. Go in. Yeah. Okay. Let's see if there's any good stuff in here. Nope. Doesn't it seem like there'd be like some neat treasure in that pool? Oh well. These don't seem very authentic. These look very much like tourist market in Fes, but oh well. Phanos is derived from Thanos. That's a joke, right? Is that for real? I'm aware of the Thanatos like death connection, but I thought you were making like an Avengers, like Thanos.
I missed you.
Never again should we.
Yeah, exactly.
We only have each other. Without him, what?
Let us be together. Us two. Each to each.
I have news.
You are scarred by justice.
Oh no, she's gonna make him shave his beard?
I bludgeoned Medunamun with this.
Sweet.
I hate that we have to do these things. But I am grateful that you did.
If I am honest, I took pleasure in it.
I mean, he was a bad guy. He definitely deserved to get bludgeoned.
I've missed your touch.
I have missed touching you. I killed as well. Actaeon. I hunted him down.
Well, hair,
and
I'm definitely
discovered
all
him
about,
in his room.
because like I don't
When he returned,
have a lot of that
I
myself.
forced him to wear it.
But the beard, no, beard is
Then
important.
I thrust this knife through his eye slits.
Aya.
But I was careless.
Yeah, once I have full control, I'll make him
Another of
bald
the
with a
masked
beard,
ones tracked me to
so I
my
can
home.
like, you know,
It was even
feel like
more
I more fully embody the character.
We have one more. Then, we will be done.
So Egyptian priests were required to shave all their body hair. That's a thing.
Look at this.
That's a real thing. Texts
I took
describe
it
it
from Actaeon.
pretty plainly.
Apollodorus
It's
tells me
having
it is a papyrus from the
hair
royal
is
council,
associated with
which means
foreigners.
the snake is in Ptolemy's court.
How does this Apollodorus know these things?
He has informants everywhere because of his work with Cleopatra.
But Cleopatra? She's been declared a criminal.
By her treacherous brother, yes.
I love how
She
Bayek
plans
just
to
doesn't
take up
understand
the throne.
politics at
She
all.
wants the snake dead as much
He's
as
like-
we do.
Has
And she
no
trusts me.
idea how politics works.
She gave me this to slit his throat. It's an ancient blade that killed the tyrant Xerxes. A weapon of justice.
I like how I'm chilling with her with the lion face mask on.
Ingenious. Ah. I will go to the palace and discover who uses the seal of the snake. And I will use this.
All
You'll
right.
find plenty of information in the royal scribe's office.
Yeah,
He
let's
spends
just
some time
go.
at the bathhouse. Go search the palace while he's away.
Everybody is gonna want me to
I cannot
do
leave here as
the
long as Gennadios walks the
bathhouse
streets. He is determined to kill
scene.
me.
I'm
In
pretty
addition to the
sure.
snake, I will see what I can learn of this Gennadios and silence him.
Discover who the snake is and show him the face of death. I'll meet you at the Panem when you have killed both the snake and Gennadios.
My heart
Snake.
aches until I see you again.
Snake and Gennadios. Got it.
What's this?
That leads to the docks. I can't believe Thanos had you go through the pit.
Wait. What?
As does mine, my love.
Oh, there. Okay. Exit. Yeah, I was gonna open it up to a vote. Actually, I'm gonna take a bathroom break. This is a good time for it. And I'm gonna come back, and then so everyone who wants a bath towel Bayek, you know, just let me know in the chat. And yeah, I'll be right back. Okay. I'm not seeing any more votes for Bath Towel Bayek, but I don't really need to ask again. Wait, how do I do that, though? Is it here? No, this is the part. I have to, like, go assassinate someone. I also feel like I skipped so many things to get here. It's this, Lexi? This thing? I have to go this? Oh, I have to like go in the thing and get the thing. Okay, got it. Alright, here we go. Let's do it. I'm gonna fuck this guy up just for fun. Got him. Wow. Doing this in the weirdest way imaginable. I'm just going straight there. I know, I missed the hidden blade. Oh, it looks like a tilapia. Although we are in the sea. Wouldn't really expect to see. Oh, boat! Sweet! That's exactly what I need. Thank you. No, this is the exact wrong way for me to go in here. Should have gone on the other side.
I must be careful now.
Yeah, for real. It's like I'm like deep in enemy territory. Okay. I need to go in here. I'm gonna have to get in there somewhere, somehow. I feel like all the ways in this way are so open. I should have gone on the other side. Or I guess I could go around to this sort of woodland. Sneak up on the wall. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. That's definitely the way. Okay. I feel like I missed somebody here. Okay, this is gonna get kind of tricky. Yeah, I definitely missed one guy, at least. The wall will take you right to the building. Okay. So we're gonna go... We're gonna do some murdering. Oh, good. I hope your food was delicious. I went and bought all the stuff to make spaghetti carbonara, but I haven't actually made it yet. So, eventually I'm gonna go do that. I sort of forgot that spaghetti carbonara existed until the other day, when it just like popped into my head, and then we made it. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is like the most delicious thing in the entire world. How do we not make this like every day? So then I went to the store. I bought like bacon and Parmesan cheese and eggs, different types of pasta. Oh my gosh, I walked right past him. Look at that. Got him. Food to go from college cafeteria. Honestly, that is fan-fucking-tastic. You have no idea. Like, so I would teach this... Oh, whoops. Well, I bunked that up. I would teach this summer course and go have lunch with my students. And, you know, as a grad student, I, like, go have lunch with my students who are, like, undergrads and go to the cafeteria. And so I have, like, the school cafeteria food for the first time in ages. And it was amazing. I was like, oh my gosh, there's, like, a huge amount of variety. Like, you don't have to make any of it. Like, I spend a substantial amount of time every single day just obtaining food. College cafeterias, if I could have a college cafeteria for the rest of my life, I totally would. Oh, crafting. It's like, when you have it, you don't appreciate it. But then you have it as an adult, and it's like, okay, like, the food's not amazing or anything, but getting food and, like, having food is so much freaking work all the time. Just not having to think about it is just fantastic. Okay, so I'm gonna get beard, shaved head, which is my normal look in real life. Cheap, nourishing, and diverse. Yep. I mean, if I ever get, like, a permanent job in a university, I'm gonna totally go eat lunch in the cafeteria with the students. Like, no shame. Totally doing it. It's so good. Just not have to worry about food. And, like, I eat one meal a day. Everyone in my family eats one meal a day because it's just so much time and effort. Whoa. Wait, how'd that happen? Oh, you're going down for sure. Right in your face. Close enough. Can we just discuss ancient cheese? By all means, discuss ancient cheese. I don't know anything about ancient cheese. I know that the ancient Egyptians did have cheese. because I researched it when I was doing my. So I went through. It's been closed due to COVID. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I went through a phase where I would only eat foods that were available in ancient Egypt because I thought that would somehow make me better at like Egyptian language. It's totally dumb, but it was mainly just for fun, like not serious. But I really did do it, and so I learned like which things that we regularly eat were also regularly eaten in ancient Egypt, and it's a surprising percentage of things that we eat now were also eaten in ancient Egypt, including cheese. So, so that's kind of neat. Wait, how do I... Lexi? How am I supposed to go in here? Definitely don't want to go in the front freaking door. Sneak around to the front. This is your advice. Feeling a little exposed here. Ow. Well, that wasn't right. I'm gonna... No other way. Oh, really?
Get out of options!
I have quite a few options, actually. Wow, these guys are tough. Damn. I should really learn to use my shield. But oops, dodge. Too late on the dodge. Oh man, here comes another. Like, what are you gonna do that they couldn't do, guy? Oh, it's hard to explain. If you go down from the level of the wall to the front, there's an open window. Oh, good to know. Well, I mean, it's going okay. I know I need to go in here and like climb up on something and get something. There's something like that. Oh, what is this? This is like a legit scriptorium. If it weren't for the ugly decorating, this would be really neat. Oh gosh, Romans. You can escape through that upstairs window. Yeah, I think I should probably do that. Okay, a ladder has fallen.
A ladder?
Words in modern English that derive from Egyptian. I don't mean cultural specific words like pharaoh, but so yeah, I know a few. So my personal favorite is the word gum, G-U-M. That actually comes from an ancient Egyptian word, kome. It means tree resin. So like gum Arabic is literally an Egyptian. Is that a hookah? It totally is. Oh, maybe not. It looks like a hookah. I have to get up here somehow, right? Yeah, and go around. There we go.
Ah, a key.
A key. Good. So gum is really cool one. I love that one. Ebony and ivory are both from ancient Egyptian. They mean literally the same thing.
These are the rooms of the royal scribe.
What else? Oasis. So you'll hear them use the word wahat sometimes to describe Siwa. The Egyptian word was wahi, and that was borrowed into Greek as oasis. Oh no, your enthusiasm, or dude, I actually don't know your gender. So sorry about that, but your enthusiasm is awesome. That's what this is all about. We're just here to talk about what's cool about this game. Does meow count?
Official papers.
That's a fair question.
It just belongs to the royal scribe himself, Eudoros.
So the ancient word for cat that we have is emal,
bottom.
or emu. Yeah, it's onomatopoetic, so it is. Oh, that's written in hieratic.
The Pharaoh remains compliant and is our puppet in all things. Act with caution in Siwa. The murder of the Heron was but the first. 2 from among us here in Alexandria have also been killed. However, the situation is under control. Gennadios is actively questioning the populace. We commend your efforts, Ibis. Long life.
Stamped with the seal of the snake.
It's a sweet seal.
Snake is Eudorus, the royal scribe.
I'm surprised I don't call him Evdorus, because they pronounce everything else with the, they don't pronounce the, like...
I said that the royal scribe is often at the bathhouse.
Evdorus.
I will kill that naked Iadet.
I'm gonna kill that naked Iadet. Faux show. So what I've been doing here is I'm just journeying towards the auto loot, because I just want that so badly. That's probably stupid. That's not that fun. Like, this way, I'm saying my way is probably stupid. There are probably things I need more than that are more useful in the long run. Oh, overpower with chain attack, that's so cool. Oh, killing with overpower gives you XP. Like, that's obviously useful. So, Neked Yadet is like... It's like pseudo-Egyptian. So, Nek, which is, again, the Egyptological pronunciation, right? We have... The word is written N-K, and then normally a picture of an ejaculating penis, and it means fuck. And it means it's the word for like to have sexual intercourse. So I say it means fuck, but also the Egyptians were just not prudish, and the Egyptian doesn't really seem to have taboo words in it very much, except for the names of certain like religious evil things. So it was just the word for that part of life. And it was written, we pronounce it nek, but it probably would have been pronounced at this time something like nok. And then neket it's just putting the T on the end to make it feminine. So neket, they're making a word like an adjective like fucking. And yadet is literally like pestilence or just, crappy thing. So it's like literally fucking pestilence, but it's almost like Google Translate Egyptian, right? Like it's not real language, but it's close. And you'll hear it in there. The characters will shout things like they'll shout neck in a situation, which is obviously meant to be them like an expletive, just like oh fuck. And they'll shout fegen too, which is one of the words that we have for shit. Although it's not the one that would have been used at this time, and yeah. So it's like it's not bad. It's not terrible. They made an effort to get real Egyptian words in there, but it's not quite there. It's I'd give it a C, maybe a B minus. Yeah. Evdorus. Yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh, there's a book called Latin Sexual Vocabulary that I read as an undergrad because it was recommended to me for like a term paper or something. And there's tons of research into the slang words that were used in Latin for for saying rude things, right? Because they're a graffiti where people intentionally put rude things because humans haven't changed at all. We still love dirty jokes. There is an ancient Egyptian graffito that is just like two people having sex, and it's long been believed that it is meant to be Hatshepsut and Senemut, her daughter's tutor, and her kind of like her right hand man, who was probably very politically powerful in her court. It's not proven that it's them. Yeah, the Latins and their sexual vocabulary, they are really on top of it. No double entendre intended. My all-time favorite, and I think perhaps the most common, is like vomer and sulcus, which is like plow and furrow, or their most common words for like penis and vagina, which is just like, it just works as a metaphor. It's just great. It's just good stuff. Let's see. F Doros. Well, no, I think you're close enough. Do I want any of these other things more than I want to get all the way to auto loot? Like, these other things are so valuable. Pull people off their mounts. I don't think I need anything else with arrows. Toxin arrows I definitely don't care to have because those are annoying. Aiming with your bow in midair will cause slow-mo. I'm not that skilled. I think I'm just going to keep going on my path towards auto loot. What is this thing? One more melee attack. Yeah, that's good. I'm just going to keep going this way. I don't think overthinking it was actually helping anything. We got stuff. Let's break this. I should probably leave all the breaking down of things until my my grindy streams, because I don't think anybody wants to watch me just like grinding out junk. I might have actually used that sword instead of breaking it. Oh well. Okay, let's not mess around with that anymore. Let's look at this. What have we got? Finished a papyrus puzzle successfully. I'm sure there will be more. Targets. Doris.
Doris there.
Okay. Is there anything else of value in here? So much. I can't tell where those little dings were coming from. I guess they're coming from in here.
Gennadios spends time in the palace as well as around the docks.
I need to find this Gennadios. He seems like a pretty bad dude. Pedicabegolvos at Irumambo. I want to meet the classic student who doesn't have that phrase memorized.
Gennadios spends time in the palace as well as around the docks.
Oh, I already said that. The open window straight back through the hallway. There. Yes? Yes, okay. Had to wait out the delay. I wonder why that delay is so long. It seems longer than you would need it to be. I feel like I'm leaving a lot of money on the table here, guys. I feel like I'm hearing a lot of dings from elsewhere in this building. But you know what? Screw it. We're going out the window. Look at that.
Mine now.
No.
There you are.
Yeah, like sometimes it's like 2 seconds, and sometimes it's like a full 30 seconds. So it's definitely some kind of optimization thing where they're, it's like a cost saving type of deal. Does it? I think I want to go fight this guy. This guy seems very fightable. Nope.
Die, idiot!
Timed that very nicely. In your face. Okay, so now I'm just gonna look at the map. Bathhouse is there. There's treasure in here. I should get that treasure.
Hello?
The only problem with this whole like setup where I like use my Egyptology nerddom to explain things
Wait a minute.
is that there's like literally nothing for me to explain in the Greek parts. Like I don't know anything. Oh, there it is. You are about to get skewered. Got him. Got him. Did you just say expiration date? That doesn't really seem like an ancient concept. And there's a reason they invented cheese.
Death for you.
Oh, man. Getting all 3 of those strikes in is definitely beneficial. I don't even think that's the skill I just got. If I had another strike, oh my gosh. I would just take them out without them being able to fight back. Was the segregation... So, segregation is the wrong word. It's not... It was not the same as the Jim Crow South. Like, it's... the points of comparison that we have in our own history are just as likely to hurt as they are to help. Because it is just... It's so different. It's so much its own time. But there was a separation between Greeks and Egyptians. Greeks were often granted land for military service. That a lot of that land came from temple estates, but presumably some of it came from land-owning families, Egyptian families. You know, there are all sorts of social and economic issues at play. We know, or at least the thing that I know enough to say something about, is that the courts were separated by language. So if your contract was written in Egyptian, it would be adjudicated by an Egyptian court, and if it were written in Greek, it would be adjudicated by a Ptolemaic court. So, you know, there's a place where we have... Wow, that sucked. Like, very clear legal distinction being made, but not necessarily on the basis of what we would call ethnicity, but on the basis of language. But I argued in my dissertation that one of the reasons for the inexplicable longevity of Demotic as a script, despite being super difficult to learn and use, was that it was really only accessible to native speakers of the Egyptian language. So it was a linguistic distinction, but it might have also been sort of a de facto ethnic distinction that determined which court saw a case. So, and the fact that there were 2 parallel court systems, a native Egyptian one that was carried over from Pharaonic times, and a newer Ptolemaic one that was based on the Greek legal system, or a Greek Macedonian, I guess, legal system. That tells you a lot, right? There is a lot going on. It's been debated. It's still being debated. How segregated was this society? Like, how divided was it? Nobody really knows for sure. But this is a place where you get into kind of like personal style. But like as a historian, my personal style is to say that we can use a lot of what we know about human nature to answer questions for ourselves. A lot of historians don't like doing that. They think it's too risky. We risk putting too much of our own personal biases into our analysis. Others, like me, say that bias is inevitable, but human beings are pretty predictable and pretty easy to understand, actually, because we do it all day, every day in our own societies. So it's actually kind of a good idea for us to use what we know about human nature to speculate about how things were in the past. I don't think there's a right or a wrong answer there. I think it's just a matter of personal style. But I would guess that there was quite a lot of social strife between ethnic Egyptians and ethnic Greeks in and around Alexandria at this time period.
Move now! What are you playing at?
Repeated pattern of the Greek meander.
Halt! Stay there, you.
Well, they're Romans. Actually, they're not. They're not. These are Greeks.
Today.
These aren't Romans.
Did you not know?
It's quiet.
Did you not know? Eudoros is at the baths.
They're not Romans yet. But also they have done a lot of the interiors and things. They're clearly taken from like Pompeian frescoes and stuff like that. So like, yeah, technically they're Ptolemies, and it's not Roman Egypt yet. And even when it was Roman Egypt, it was really Greco-Roman Egypt. But the game has kind of deliberately used a lot of like Roman style things to differentiate them. Okay, so I gotta go into this bathhouse, you guys. I know at least one of my 7 viewers is super excited for this part. Alright. Bath bod, Bayek. Yeah, like, seriously. Life goals right here. Oh, wait. I'm not moving. We're having an issue. Okay, this is going to require a restart, I think. Unless we get an improvement in the next 30 seconds or so. I think we're frozen. I think somebody's going to have to wait. I think somebody's going to have to wait for next week for Bath Bayek. Yep, we are solidly frozen. I'm gonna have to do a restart, which means an end to the stream and a start of a new stream. But we will come back next week, and it will be time for Bath Bayek. So until then, I know. Yeah, I'm gonna go eat some dinner, and we'll come back. So that's something to look forward to. Sexy Bayek and some murder and all that good stuff. And we'll continue same time, 4:30 Eastern time. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Next week, Bath Bayek or we riot. See you next week, everyone.